Welcome students, parents, and faculty to the 9th Annual Crystal Apple Awards. Students were asked to write an essay or poem about an educator who shows perseverance, never gives up, does not have a fear of being different, and challenges students to experience life using their unique abilities. Overall, to the students, the educator has made and continues to make a positive impact in their lives in multiple ways. At this time, I'd like to invite up Mary Gibson to present her Crystal Apple Educator. And when the educator is noted, if he or she could please come up these steps. Okay, Mary?
I would like to dedicate this to Miss Stevens. Okay, dear Miss Stevens, when I first started here, freshman year, I was so surprised that I had you as my teacher. I am so happy that you are my teacher. Since freshman year, you have been the best teacher ever, and I am so glad that we are able to talk about things in school. You have taught us how to stay healthy and how to cook. We have fun doing cafes, doing cafe prepping, and crafting. One of my favorite classes is living skills because I love to cook and taste the foods we have made throughout the year. I can't wait to have you as my teacher next year. We always talk about your nieces. I like to hear the stories about all the things that they do. It was fun meeting your niece at the Shawnee Frozen movie a few years ago. I made rubber band bracelets for them in their favorite colors. I enjoy helping you when we cook in living skills and helping out for the cafes that we do. You help us make a lot of money for our great field trips. You do so much for us in class buddies and our field trips. Thank you for all you do for me and all the other kids in our class. Your student, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Now I'd like to invite Benjamin Levens up to this stage.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Benjamin Levens, and the teacher I nominated for a Crystal Apple Award this year is my chemistry teacher, Mr. Kendall. You want to come up here, Mr. Kendall? I know he's somewhere out there. So, I had what I was going to say, but the more I think about it, I think Mr. Kendall here, he teaches from the heart. And I feel like for this to be an appropriate speech or a recognition for him, I need to give this speech from the heart. So that's what I'm going to do. To begin with, going into this year, I was very nervous about taking honors chemistry. I struggled through honors biology, and chemistry was daunting for me. And as soon as I got into the class, my fears within 2 weeks were gone. And the reason was because of this teacher here, Mr. Kendall. I felt with Mr. Kendall that there was never going to be a way I could ever fall behind in the class, because he was willing to put in the effort to help me get to where I need to be in his class. I think actually a good example of this would be when he was teaching this one lesson maybe 2 months ago, and I think halfway through the lesson he realized it wasn't going that well and none of us really understood what was going on. But instead of just saying, oh, those kids will figure out what's going on, and they'll figure it out later, he went home that night and he figured out a way to reteach the lesson. And the next day, he retaught that lesson. And that just showed me the effort he was willing to put in to make sure we got to where we needed to be. And this actually would lead me into something else about Mr. Kendall, I guess. He is very inexperienced at this point. I think he's only been teaching for, what, 2 or 3 years? But that, I don't think inexperience is a bad thing whatsoever, because inexperience is something that can be made up through effort. And that's something Mr. Kendall has. He has effort. He's told us many times that he comes in on Saturdays to help to finish grading our papers so we get it back on time. And what I think about that is, that shows me that, like, what it teaches me is that what Mr. Kendall does is he's not necessarily super worried about our grades. Like, he wants us to succeed in his class, but the one thing he wants us to do is he wants us to learn life lessons about working hard, about doing your best. And that's something I find amazing in a teacher with his experience. I guess after all this said, I haven't touched upon my favorite thing about Mr. Kendall, and it's the fact you can connect with him on a personal level. And a good example of this would be many times I've come in and I like to talk about sports. And I'm not sure Mr. Kendall knows that much about football, but the one thing he always does is he takes his time to talk about what he knows, and that shows me he wants to get to know us more than just as students, but as people in general. So I think I'd like to end with this. The reason I nominated Mr. Kendall for a Crystal Apple Award was because I wanted him to know that his effort does not go unrecognized by a mediocre student such as myself. Thank you, Mr. Kendall.
Thanks, Ben. I appreciate it. That was a very good speech.
You like it?
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you very much, Ben, for that awesome essay. I'd now like to invite up Paige Guillen and Alexa McLean to present their Crystal Apple winner.
Hi, I'm Alexa McLean.
And I'm Paige Guillen, and this is the poem we wrote for the teacher we nominated.
Bonjour, we can't decide who loves her teaching more.
Her education skills help us shine. A class period is 57 minutes, never enough time.
Helping us succeed is all we need. She might be new, but she is friendly too.
This is our first year taking French, and we have learned to do our best. Mademoiselle, you teach us quite well, and this is our thanks to you for all that you do.
We nominate Miss Rich. Please come up to the stage. She's not here. Oh, she is here.
Oh, she was there.
Merci beaucoup. Okay, I'd now like to welcome Joey Trombley to the podium to present his teacher.
Hello. For the Crystal Apple Award, I nominated my teacher and coach, Mr. Joseph Patterson. Mr. Patterson has had a huge impact in my life, both in school and on the football field. Mr. Patterson is a very kind and respectful person. He also shows real passion for teaching as well as coaching Shawnee football. He epitomizes what it means to be a leader, and as a leader, Mr. Patterson influenced my life in this past 2015 Shawnee football season, when I was given a starting varsity position as the extra point field goal holder. It was the first time I had been given a varsity position as a Shawnee football player, so you can imagine how nervous I was. My first game starting, I was ready to jump out of my shoes and had a very severe case of butterflies. Mr. Patterson understood my nervousness and provided very powerful encouragement and motivating words to try and calm me down. He reminded me that I had practiced this 100 times and I was going to execute my position perfectly and had nothing to worry about. After he said this, we called it his motivational speech. I strapped on my helmet and stepped onto the field to do my job. This became a regular tradition that Mr. Patterson and I did before every football game, until playoffs came around and Mr. Patterson determined that I had graduated from his motivational speeches and was ready to hit the field on my own. Now, this may not seem like much, but just he and I exchanging a few words before I strapped on my helmet really changed the way I played football. He gave me the courage to do my job even when the entire school was watching, and I'm so thankful for that. I just can't wait till next season comes around so he can spread his positive influence to all the football players below me. Mr. Patterson is truly one of a kind.
Thank you, Joe. I'd now like to ask Alex FEIGHERY to come to the stage to present her teacher. I'm sorry, his teacher, I'm sorry. His teacher.
Miss Purvis. Miss Purvis, this school year marks your 18th year as an educator. And as a military spouse, you've bounced around the country teaching at 11 schools over the course of your professional career. With these astonishing statistics, I would like to humbly honor your educational achievements and the wonderful teacher you are with the Crystal Apple. Ms. Purvis, you are the definition of a professional teacher and role model. Your dedication to the well-being of students across this country and in our school has touched lives, made memories, and changed some like mine. I always wanted to serve in the United States military, and with the faith you put in me, support, knowledge, and effort to help me make the right decisions, I was able to find strength to solidify that decision. In the classroom, you are gifted with the ability to connect strongly with students and make the classroom atmosphere one to enjoy and look forward to. From all the things that you do, like making room in your busy schedule to stay after with us for extra help, to putting on skits in class to help us learn material, explaining things to me as if I'm 5, making jokes as you teach along, putting up with your rowdy class 7, and most of all, taking the time to listen to our experiences, feelings, thoughts, and offering advice and your utmost support. It shows that you care. You treat your students as if we are your very own kids, and that feeling is uncanny. We love you for it. Ms. Purvis, you've done so much in these nearly 6 months to change my life. Although it will never be enough, thank you. Thank you for everything so far and for what's to come. Teachers like you are what make this country great and one that makes me a proud American and willing to protect my country. Go Army.
Very strong. Alex, you're amazing. You silly boy, I'm gonna get you. That's twice this year that you did that. Very strong. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Our last Crystal Apple educator was not able to make it today, but that person will be receiving their award on Tuesday morning. So I'd like to congratulate all of the Crystal Apple Award winners and students. You did a great job, and thank you, parents, for attending. And please join us for some refreshments out in the atrium. Thank you very much.